It's the 26th now, and at this point we'd had a few ID probes, so guys had come into the crowd with the same kind of make and model backpack and dropped them in the crowd, and we called it up to EOD, halted operations and stuff, and we're witnessing this firsthand. I mean, we're letting them know, like, hey, there's guys in the crowd, and there's so many people that they'd come in, drop a backpack, and just duck into the crowd because there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And they'd go out and they'd pull out the same backpacks and, all right, well, there's nothing in it, it's clear. And then be like, all right, well, go back to operating.
Let me refresh the audience with some facts on the 26th. So, suicide bomber detonates near Abbey Gate. 13 service members killed, 11 Marines, 1 sailor, 1 Army soldier, 170 Afghans killed just in the blast. 45 U.S. military personnel wounded. You lost your right arm, your left leg, missing parts of multiple organs, 43 surgeries, 54 units of blood, and you still have 13 ball bearings and 2 pieces of shrapnel stuck in your body.
Oh, that is correct.
So let's roll into the 26th.
Yeah. So the night, like early morning of the 26th, about 1:30, we had gotten intel from the Joint Operations Command and our assets coming from the JSOG assets that were out there that there was a confirmed suicide bomber in the area traveling with another individual. And they had given us they told us that they had the exact description of it. And so I'm getting this word from our intel assets, so me and a couple guys on the team, Chaz being one of them, and it might have been our whole team actually, because at one point we didn't want to leave the tower because we were just trying to help as much as we could, and our leadership was like, hey, like come off the tower for like an hour or two, like go back to the packs, fucking like chill out for a second, and then like go back. They had extra guys on the team. They had over TO team like 8 guys or something, just like 9 guys, so some extra dudes to go up to the tower and like hold our position for an hour. And we're like, no, we're good, but they're like, just fucking go back for an hour and like decompress. And we're like, all right, so we did that, went and really just fucking grabbed some more MREs and intel. And so they're like, he's a younger individual, probably clean shaven, wearing a brown man dress with some like black outer garb of some sort and a black bag, and traveling with an older individual who is probably the guy kind of guiding him to do this. And my first reaction, I was like, how the fuck do we have an exact description of this guy? I was like, if we have an exact description of this guy and we know that he's coming to Abbey Gate, that means you have a motherfucker watching him. You have someone watching him, someone operating in the AO, or who knows where he's going to be. Why are we not stopping him before he gets to us? And we were just told the intel asset couldn't be compromised. And
unfortunately, that's the only fucking thing I agree with so far.
Yeah.
That's the only decision I agree with, because you know why? Because the intel never stops. He's an insider.
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's why.
Yeah.
It's our job to eliminate the
those hard decisions have to be made. Yeah. But like, that's a great way to put it, is we're told these things so we can stop what's happening.
But our leadership denied it.
Yeah. And so we go back out to the gate. And obviously at the time, we're all kind of thinking like, for us, it's like, why the fuck wouldn't we do something? Wouldn't they do something earlier? But that's a great way to explain it. And we had watched him. I didn't get to portray it fully in front of Congress, but we were watching him for a couple hours, like quite a few hours, still continuously requesting engagement authority. And finally it's like, no, engagement authorities denied. And I was like, who has it? Or we don't have the, they're like, we don't have the engagement authority to give you. And I was like, well, send the battalion commander up here, because we're going to shoot this guy if you don't. And obviously in our eyes, right? And I said this to Congress too. I said, even if this was a potential, if this was possible, if it wasn't the guy, the fucking bomber in the crowd is going to think twice about fucking doing what he's about to do, because he watched some dude's fucking chest get caved in, because he watched this dude just get taken out. He's going to know that we're watching. He's going to know that when he does come into view, we're going to fucking deal with him. We're going to put him down, because bad people need to be put down. That's what our job is. And not what our job is, but that's what we're supposed to do in that situation with those individuals. And 300-yard shot is an easy shot to take from a stable platform with high-powered optics and fucking long guns.
Not to mention with everything else that's going on around it.
Yeah.
All the executions, dead babies, women trying to cut their own throats on razor wire.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. And they're denying you permission to take this guy out.
On top of allowing the Taliban to come up and work next to Marines.
Yeah.
And so they say, all right, the battalion commander's on his way. At this point, I mean, this dude's closer. He's within like 200 yards, 150 yards now, or maybe even closer than that. And the battalion commander comes up, Lieutenant Colonel Brad Whited, and he comes up to the tower. We show him the photos, and he's just kind of sitting on, the heels of his feet, like, well, and we're like, well, sir, do we have your permission to engage? Like, we've had counter intel, psychological operations, and ourselves positive ID on this guy. This is the description. And he was like, well, yeah, it does look like it, but I don't have that authority.
What's this guy's name?
Lieutenant Colonel Brad Whited. It's like, I don't have that authority to give. We're like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is he doing there then?
Yeah. We're like, what the fuck? Then who?
What rank is this guy?
At the time, he was a lieutenant colonel. And I say, myself and Chaz both have intense conversation. We're like, who the fuck does have the authority, sir? And he goes, well, I don't know. Like, what the fuck do you mean you don't know?
He doesn't know his chain of command?
No. And
this guy has to live with this for the rest of his life. And I'm fucking glad you do, Lieutenant Colonel. You fucking piece of shit.
the thing is, too, is we got, so he said, I don't know. And Chaz and I both reiterate, well, you need to find out, because American lives are at stake. And if this is the bomber, a lot of people are going to die. And he leaves the tower, leaving us with the sense that he's going to go get us an answer. And now at this point, it's later in the afternoon. It's like 2, 3 p.m. And this guy disappears into the fucking crowd. We don't get an answer back. It's like I said, like I said in front of Congress, I didn't just throw his rank and name out there to destroy this guy's career, but he's who it started with, and it ended with General Sullivan. And we were told, and this is me quoting him, he said, that request never got to me. So somewhere between here and here, someone didn't give a fuck.
You know what you're doing, Tyler, is you are exposing how weak United States leadership is in the U.S. military. It's that fucking weak now. And you know when it got that weak? Right after this last election. Everybody that was worth a shit either got fired or pulled out or fucking left because they knew this shit was going to happen. That's what you're doing. You're exposing how weak military leadership is now because of who's in office. And it's good you're doing that.
I appreciate that, Shawn. It's definitely, like I said, in between the battalion commander and the General Sullivan, someone didn't give a fuck enough